Ciao tomatoes are grown and cultivated in marvelous southern Italy. The mechanical harvesting, now refined in its process thanks to highly developed technology, progressively substitutes manual picking. The harvesting process remains a ritual because with the use of optical sensors, the first selection of raw materials take places right at the moment of picking the tomatoes in the fields, in which the red mature tomatoes are separated from those that are green and unripened. Upon harvesting, the tomatoes reach our factory and are canned within 6 hours from the time they were picked from the ground. This guarantees that the fruit, once processed and canned, and even after 3 years in the can, maintains its flavor, odor and fragrance of the tomatoes just harvested. At the arrival in our factory in Mercato San Severino, the truck is weighted and recorded. The time of the harvesting and the farm from which the tomatoes have come are registered as well. In this way, every lot of production and therefore every can produced can be traced back to the farm. The next step is the sampling. A certain quantity of raw materials is taken from each truckload of fresh tomatoes arriving in order to verify the eventual defects of deformities, including the first chemical analysis to determine the state of maturity and its overall characteristics of the fruit. Only after these steps can we confirm the acceptance of the load of fresh tomatoes and its entry into the production process. With the first washing, we separate the tomato from material other than tomatoes, rocks, earth, stems, etc. After which the tomato passes through 2 optical selectors, the first of which discards the green tomatoes and the second which discards the yellow tomatoes, those that are not mature. After passing these optical selectors, our tomatoes are then subjected to another selection, that of size or calibration. The calibrating rollers only allow our tomatoes with the dimension we require to pass, eliminating those that are too small or broken. Now, having passed already 3 phases of selection, the tomatoes undergo one last washing before entering the production. Once inside the peeling machine at the temperature of 19 degrees Celsius, the tomatoes is scalded with heat and passes into a vacuum chamber under pressure, causing the peel detach from the tomato. The tomatoes exiting the peeler with skins hanging off, then pass through a series of rollers, turning in opposite direction, which separate the hanging peel from the tomatoes. The newly peeled tomato then passes under a scanner of the third and final optical selector, this one called Ray-Tech Vision Revolution, which photographs the tomato and discards those with noted defects. From this last automatic sorting, the tomatoes then pass onto bales, where they will be manually sorted by our long-time workers who specialize seasonally in this craft. This final sorting, resulting in peeled whole tomatoes, will pass now to the moment of canning, in which the whole tomatoes will be mixed with tomato puree in the cans. The tomato puree added to the cans is produced alongside this peeling process. A separate line will take fresh tomatoes where they are then selected, washed and sorted. These tomatoes will pass through a screen which removes the skin and seeds while crushing them into juice. This juice is then pasteurized at temperature and concentrated to the desired level of density, which we have identified as a key ingredient in our recipe. Once the cans are filled and sealed, they arrive at the phase of sterilization. The cans remains in the sterilizer for about 60 minutes, passing through 6 separate temperature levels, arriving at 90 degrees Celsius. Once sterilized, the cans are then cooled via jets of cold water. During this entire production process, quantitative analyses are continuously carried out every step of every process in order to guarantee our Ciao quality in every can. Our laboratory team carries out more than 12 checks to assure that the phases of production are always working in perfect harmony. Continuously monitoring the pH, color, density, post-tweak, molds, and eventual peel residue present. analysis is a part of the Ciao production, not just in the production phase, but also in the traceability. Each lot of production is quarantined for a certain period to undergo additional examination. And only then are the Ciao tomatoes considered ideal for shipment around the world. Open it, test it. Ciao.